I had an interesting question asked me. It was a fellow coworker. He says, "Do I carry a pocket knife?" Well, good morning. I had an interesting question asked me. It was a fellow coworker. He says, "Do I carry a pocket knife?" Well, yeah. My first response was, "Doesn't everybody?" But the conversation was more to that. He was looking, I asked, "You looking for an everyday carry? What are you looking for in a knife?" And he explained it was a pocket knife. It was not a tactical. We got an in-depth conversation on different knives, different types of knives. Do you want one for more so for protection or daily use? And he asked what mine was. And mine it's a Gerber. It's a real small, it's old. I don't even know. There's variants out there. There's an auto version of it. I forget what it's called. But I use just a little, really small, about the size of my index finger, a flip knife. And I mainly, it's tape, rope, cardboard boxes. Could it be used in self-defense? Probably, maybe. It would hurt, but anyway. Brought up a bigger question. I've never approached the subject on the channel here on knives, and I'm really curious on. It brought in a couple other people from work, and so we got talking and what they prefer and what they use, and we found that most of us just didn't have one or two knives, and leads to this whole topic, and we'll get into that here in a second. But I'm curious on what types of knives you carry and when. My scenarios are obviously hunting, and the second would be like going out to the land. I usually have a combination of my hunting knives in the fall and other knives just for work, if you will. And I do have an everyday carry. I had a Kershaw that I really, really liked. Can't forget Leech. I can't remember what it was. And I lost it. I don't know what it is. The pocket clips. Let me show you here. It's not what I wanted to show. This is the one I'm ordering to replace it. This Gerber Freeman. I'm going to give it it's a cheap knife. Gerber, you can get really good steel. You can get in between steel. Like buck knives, I have a hard time. The edge, trying to bring an edge back on a buck knife is painful. I don't mind a quick, to a stone and a steel, and it's got its edge back. But something you have to work really hard steel, and I'm not a big fan of it. So pros and cons. This is just an everyday carry that I'm gonna have for, just I say everyday carry. It's for taking down cardboard boxes, rope, whatever you want to use, punching, opening canned goods. It can do it. It's hard on it, but that's what this is for, right? I'm gonna abuse this knife. But anyway, let's get back here. Let's get to the other cam. That's my everyday carry. And I was talking about the clip. What I find with the clip, it doesn't, when it goes in the pocket, it's not all the way in my pocket. It's kind of half in, half out. And with time, these clips tend to, I can't really pry this one. This one's nice and tight because I don't carry it that way. But this gap, see if I can get it on the camera just right. Can't really see it. Anyway, this gap right at the clip will tend to expand away from the knife, and so it doesn't clip on the pant very well, and hence when you sit down it'll tend to pop out, and that's how I lose all my knives. It took me a while to figure it out. Some I find in my bottom of my truck, or the wife's car or something there beside the seat, and some I might have reached down to grab something out in the woods, and who knows where it's at, right? 50-50 trying to find it. But this one here is just a quick flip. It's got the little thumb knob right there, so you can just flip it open. It's a very, I don't know, I would say it's almost 3 inches, probably not. Like I said, it's about the size of my index finger, a little shorter, but it's nice and small. It serves its purpose, and I really like this one because it will sit in the bottom of my pocket, way at the bottom, like yay, flat, instead of some knives, they tend to ride lengthwise up your leg like this. And this one, it goes all the way deep if you got a shallow pocket. That's one thing I've noticed in a lot of work jeans, dress pants and that kind of stuff. They tend to have shallower pockets. A good work pant has deeper pockets. They're made for carrying a lot of things. So that's right now is my current 9 times out of 10. That's what I will put in my pocket, and I really like it. I've had this one for 20 years. I really like it. Sorry about that. It had to be loud. I'll get into let's start with this one. This here I'm kind of proud. My son made this one, leather work, and this is more of a show knife. It's so nice. I hate to even use it, to be honest. It's got a nice fit. I do carry this one if I'm going on a small, in my day pack. If I'm going hiking in the woods or something like that, I get the see if I can get the whole knife in there. You can't really, but I do. I really like that knife. He did a good job. I'm taking his hands probably like mine, and it fits perfect. I really do like it. It's so nice though. I don't use it all the time out there. In fact, I don't think this is more of an emergency knife. If I need it, I have it. I can split wood with it. It's got a nice thick spine on the back. It's got heft to it. I've never tried to throw it, but I bet you the balancing is see if I can, 2-finger balance is just about perfect right there. I mean, you wobble. It's got a good feel. And again, I don't know what steel he used. I have no idea. It was a gift. But I really, really like this one. This one's a sentimental knife, I would call it. It's one that will serve its purpose if I need it. And so it goes in my day pack whenever I'm out at I throw that in the UTV, the Polaris Ranger, or the truck, or whatever. If I'm going out where I might need a knife and I don't want to go into a lot of, for a specialty reason, hunting, fishing, this is the one I'll throw in my pack. Hopefully I never have to use it, but it will do just about anything I need it to do. It's a little bit bigger. So that's kind of a day pack knife. Probably a little big for most people. Let's get into the fishing. We got up here, we got a lot of salmon, king salmon. And if anybody that cuts meat kind of knows that when you make multiple cuts in a meat, it becomes jagged. I'll touch that a little later. But for a fillet, I like this knife. This is about a 12-inch blade. It is, who even makes this? Surgical Stainless, Taiwan. Don't know who makes it. Another gift. I think my mom gave me this one. But this one you can get on a king salmon, and you'll get the whole slice of the fillet of the whole fish. As you know, the longer, and some of the, on a king salmon, this won't even go across the body of the fish. That 12 inches across does not, those fillets are huge. You get a 50, 60 pound king, you got a lot of meat there for one fillet, 2 sides of a fish, right? So this is, I have a smaller version of a fillet knife like this, but this one here is, you can tell it doesn't even fit in the camera, and it's about total length, I believe. Here, got, let's see, from the tip we got 10.5 inch. I thought it was 11, but it's 10 3/4, and the total overall length is about 15.5. 16 inches. Yeah, 15.5. We'll go with 15.5 on the tip to the edge there. Almost 16, but 15.5. So it's another good knife. I have knives. I like knives for purpose. And then I get into my hunting knives. Obviously, another Gerber. I do like that. This one here is more of a skinning knife. You can see it has the gut hook. I'm not going to go into all that. People either know what knives are about or not. And that's kind of my skinning knife there. And then obviously we have this one here is probably, God, I've had this since I was probably 12, 13. It's a buck knife. It's it can be used as a skinner and just a general all-around knife. You can see it's not that clean, but I'm going to show them as is. I was going to clean them up last night, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show them how I keep them. I abuse them. And obviously then I got this, a boning knife. I don't know if people know what that's usually it's flexible. It's about 6 inches long on the blade. It's if you look it up, this is a Chicago Cutler boning knife, and it's made to get in around joints. You know, you get in and if you've ever broken a shoulder apart or knees and separate them, you need something that can get in, you know, deep, 3, 4, 5 inches, and really pry on, but you don't want to break the knife. And these boning knives are really good for separating shoulders out and, you know, get a front quarter or hind quarter. Up here in Alaska, we don't. It's called field dressing. Usually take the meat out and you leave the bones. I mean, we're talking all the backstrap and the ribs and everything, and you leave the bones. Especially on something like a moose, it's just too much weight carrying a whole, you know, front shoulder with bone and everything. So we bone those out. So you're left with just with the meat. And that's you know, and obviously I carry a little stone to bring the edge back if I've got a field dress, you know, something I'm not going to sit and sharpen. Usually there's 2 of us, so, or even more, sometimes working on the same animal. So usually we have enough knives to get the job done once. But that's kind of my hunting scenario there. Obviously it's not a knife, but I'll show you the, this is going to probably be filthy. Yeah, it is. But a meat saw. This has to be cleaned up. A little rust on it. It's been sitting outside, so in my car and stuff, so condensation. But yeah, you get a good meat saw to obviously cut the bone and horns. Mainly the horns is probably what I use it the most on. So that's kind of my scenario, you know. I got my everyday carry. I have some hunting knives. I have some fishing, and I don't want to call it a survival knife, but I really do like this one. I got a knife that's kind of pride and joy, and hopefully I never have to use it, but if I have to, I got it. I really like that one. That's my pride and joy. Always looking at more, and I'm looking, like I said, I'm going to be picking up this Gerber. So we'll that one's already ordered. I think I've got that coming. And so we should see that one here in I don't know. I think it said next Monday. So 3 or 4 days. Anyway, I'm curious on what you guys, how many knives do you think you need? I didn't even count how many. That's kind of, I got other knives, but this is my essentials. So kind of curious what you guys think. How many knives you carry, your applications, I'm sure everybody has a little bit of difference of opinion there. A lot of people don't go out in the woods and don't need all this. I'm getting at the point in age that unfortunately I don't do a lot of hunting and fishing. As you can see, some of these knives are quite dirty. But it's all good. We still use them. It's infrequent, but we still use them. So it's a good investment. Most knives, if you use them at all, I know some people buy knives as a collection. Nothing wrong with that. I like to use mine. So that's all I got. Just wanted to give a quick show and tell and kind of bring up an interesting topic that I never really thought about until a couple guys at work, we got in conversation on that topic, and it was really interesting on what they thought was a good knife and what they use and why. It's like anything. There's a reason why there's so many different types of knives, and it's because hand fit, utility, meat cutters. Boy, I didn't even show you my big one. I got I'll show you one. Bear with me. I'm going to step away for a second. Hopefully my safe isn't locked up yet. Bear with me. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a meat cutter's roast. If you deal with a big animal like a moose or a cow, you know what this knife is. But give me a second. There we go. Let me make room here, and I'll get that other cam going again. That's for cutting roasts. One slice, nice clean cut. Takes me back to the topic of if you're out in the woods and got to keep meat for a long period of time, let's say like a plane, you get dropped off and you got to keep, it's 40 degrees out, 50. You make a lot of small cuts, hacking it up, Sure, you're cutting the same line, but you're making multiple cuts. Every cut is a place where bacteria and stuff will grow, and that's whenever you cut up meat, you want to take as long, clean strokes, as you can. Less cuts, more place for bacteria and stuff, and your meat will turn green. You'll see it if you've been out there for a lot of time. It's not bad. You just have to take the outer layer, or where you've cut, you have to take that, I don't want to call it rotten because it's not, but you'll have to, when you get back, to grind it and package it. Anyway, you have to clean all that again. You have to cut it all off. This here it's for roast. It almost looks like a machete, but it's got the nice curvature, and you take a roast and you tie it up, so you get something that's a big chunk of meat, and then you can cut this in one nice clean cut, and you get a nice roast. So that is probably, I'm not going to go into all the knives, but those are my essential knives. I'm looking forward to others out there. Description, comment on it. I know a lot of people won't care, but I didn't really care until somebody talked about it. So there we go. Hope you have a good day. Talk to you guys later.